within that spherical pattern, that spherical matrix of each person, for you and for me and everybody, all of our past lives are in there. All of our emotions, our experiences, and all of that has to interact with the movement of the planets now. So the planets, one time I had a spontaneous past life recall. You know, I recalled a complete life within 30 seconds to a minute. It flashed before me like scenes in a movie. I saw the whole life. It just flooded into my mind. Well, Pluto was transiting over my sun. And so it was activating this power within me to bring up something in the subconscious that was very, very powerful. And so I remembered. So that moment when Pluto transited over my sun, and it pulled something out from the subconscious and brought it up. So later, when I was learning acupuncture, a lady came in to the clinic, and she was concerned about trying to remember her childhood. She couldn't remember her childhood. I thought, she couldn't remember her childhood? It's interesting. So I needled some Sanjiao points for Pluto to go into that subconscious. And I did like points back here, under the ear, and some points out here on the Sanjiao. And so got her set up to activate the Sanjiao. And then I put a needle right here over her heart, right over the spherical matrix, where the spherical matrix is, right at that point where all these lines are crossing. And she went into a spontaneous recall of her past. And all of a sudden, she just went into this instant, as soon as the needle touched, she went into this instantaneous recall. And she was gone for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then when she came back and she said, I remembered my childhood. I remembered being at school and all these things happened. And so the planets and the meridians and acupuncture all come together to create this language of our experience. And the language of our experience is incredibly deep. Subconscious, conscious, memory, emotions, stories upon stories. And here we are living with all of this potential to live so much. And with one needle, and this is the potential of what we're studying here. This is the potential to really understand how to free our minds and how to free our souls. You know, not so much free our souls, but free our personalities. And that's really the kind of the key here, is for us to know who we are and know what who another person is, and then to be able to heal ourselves. So yeah, in answer to your question,
Yes.
the planets, the meridians, the consciousness, past life recall, memories, it's all connected.
Amazing. Yeah.
And
Really
at,
nice.
and at the heart of all that is that spherical pattern. That's everything starts there.
So for the psychological aspects that we don't have much information in acupuncture, uh, we can use these astrological connections with the meridians and plan a good psychological treatment to our patients, right? Yeah, it's
Exactly.
amazing. Mhm.
That's going to require more study.
Yeah.
I didn't put enough research into that, like actually looking at the astrological chart and doing treatment plans for the astrological chart. That's a whole thing for somebody to study and write books on, and to practice and say, this person, let's say this person is a Taurus with their moon in Capricorn, and maybe their Mars is in Leo. And so you start to understand the structure of their personality. And then along comes a transit. How's that going to affect that structure? What sort of blockages are going to happen? What sort of instabilities are going to happen? And then how can we use acupuncture to treat those instabilities? It's
Mhm.
like all of the logic is right there.
Yes.
And that if you think, okay, um, Neptune is going to transit over somebody's Mercury, what can we do? We know this could be really intense. We know this could be life altering. This could change her life. We don't know. We have to be ready. So when that one lady started to feel all that pressure on the top of her head pushing down, what do you do as an acupuncturist? Do you just hold on to her little toes and try and pull all that energy down? Maybe. I would probably start there, holding on to her toes and trying calling that energy down. Just hold on until that energy comes down out of the head into the toes. And then from there, you can begin to circulate it so that she can make more sense out of it. But at some point, that astrological event can be treated with acupuncture. But acupuncture has to kind of understand what astrological influences are happening in order for acupuncture to say, oh, Mercury, kidney, I mean, Mercury, Neptune, bladder, kidney. Ah, I'll just go down to the little toes. That's the transition point between bladder and kidney. See if I can get them to communicate. Maybe some good foot massages every day, and she'll get through this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm, really nice. I researched about Jinshin Jitsu, and then I ordered a book in Amazon, so it's in the way to arrive here. And yeah, I took a look, and uh, so how with the your fingers and mudras, and you can touch specific parts of the body and make your energy flow with harmony. Yeah, so really interesting.
That was the first form of acupuncture that I studied. So for years, that's all I did was Jin Shin Jitsu and foot massages. So to go to sleep, I would just hold a finger, wait till I feel a pulse, then feel another finger, wait till I feel a pulse, feel another finger, feel another finger. About that time, I'm asleep. But it was a great way to fall asleep by just holding fingers like this. And have you done that? Have you just held onto a finger and then feel the effects in your body?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I will try. Yeah.
you'll want to get to that point where you just grab onto a finger, feel its pulse, and then feel what changes happen in your body. There's a lot more to our body. Years ago, I had a crick in my neck. Do you know what a crick is? It's
Mm-hmm.
like you can't turn your neck that way. It's stiff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I can't turn my neck. So I sat down with my neck like that. I couldn't turn it. And I started to just massage the top of my foot. You know all those little bones on the top of your foot? You know, it's just all these little bones. I think there's like, what? How many bones are in the foot? 60, 160, or 600? I don't know. It's this huge amount of bones. So I was just feeling around the bones, kind of cross-legged, feeling my
Mhm.
tops. And I felt this really sensitive bone area. And I began to like push on it. I was thinking, this is kind of interesting. Something, it almost feels like there's a bone out of place here. So I pushed on it, and the bone went back into position. The moment it went back into position, what do you think happened?
Your pain disappeared. Your creak went over.
Let me describe what happened. So my hands are down at my foot, moving that bone back in. A line of energy, like if you take a string and it's a line of energy, went directly from my foot. I could feel it go travel outside of my body in a line. Not through my body, not up a meridian. It traveled outside of my body. If you can see that, outside of my body, from my foot, which was in front of me, it traveled up to directly where that vertebra was, and the vertebra went back into position. And I could move my head. And I still remember that, like a silver line of light traveling from that point in the foot up to my neck, and feeling it and seeing it move outside of my body instantaneously, right up to my neck. And the vertebra went right back into place. And I thought, what just happened? Okay, there's more to the body than just the body. When energy travels outside of the body like that, through this energy aura that we have, how do those 2 points connect? Why aren't we seeing connections like those lines all over the place?
Yes, we have a lot of microsystems. Microsystems in the hands, in the foot, uh, in the belly, everywhere.
How many
The
bones do we
head.
have? Does that mean we have lines of energy coming from each bone to different parts of our body?